one of the starting quarterbacks will only need to throw 1 yard to win. If you're correct on at least one more stat projection, you can win some real cash. PrizePicks is the best place to get real money sports action. With over 10 million members and billions of dollars in awarded winnings, PrizePicks has made daily fantasy sports accessible to all. You just pick more or less on at least 2 players for a shot to win up to 1,000 times your cash. PrizePicks is the best place to win real money this football season. Which players are going off? Which ones aren't? Make your
Always your Valentine for delicious treats. Enjoy the blizzard of the month, the Red Velvet Cake Blizzard. Indulge in real red velvet cake pieces and cream cheese icing blended with DQ Signature Soft Serve. Make sure you pick up your Cupid cake, a great Valentine's Day gift, with DQ Grill & Chill's custom red velvet or a specific flavor for your liking. $13.99 through Valentine's Day. DQ Grill & Chill with 2 locations, 4828 Lake Worth Road and US 1 just south of North Lake.
Kaiser University's flagship campus, the 100-acre residential campus at 2600 North Military Trail in West Palm Beach, extends Kaiser University's educational offerings to over 100 degrees in the heart of South Florida. Kaiser University also has an athletic program with 20 national championships, including the 2024 Women's Swimming and Diving Championship and 2023 football, lacrosse, and men's swimming and diving titles. Visit KUSeahawks.com for the latest.
Anajar and Levine.
Call 1-800-747-FREE. That's 1-800-747-3733.
ESPN 1063.
WUUB Jupiter, a Good Karma Brands radio station. Huddle up.
66 Hitchx Vegas Flare. I'm one ready.
It's time to break down the boldest plays.
Let's go, baby. Boom.
Hardest hits. Woo! And the craziest stories from around the NFL.
Touchdown, Tampa Bay. Fire the cannons.
This is Sunday Huddle with Colin Russo, presented by Hard Rock Bet.
Well, it's the magnum opus of Sunday Huddles presented by Hard Rock Bet over on ESPN 1063. Good afternoon, officially, everybody. It is Colin Russo alongside me, Cade Tjomsland, as always, from the City Play Studios in downtown West Palm Beach. A longer, later version of Sunday Huddle in, I guess, in spirit of the big day. Super Bowl Sunday, ladies and gentlemen. We have a big one in store for us between the Chiefs and the Eagles, 6:30 Eastern time kicking off. They're a big production, a big day, almost a holiday in American history at this point, the last 50 or something years. Expecting a fun one, expecting a good one. Next 2 hours on Sunday Huddle, Cade and I will be breaking down every little storyline, all our favorite picks, all our favorite bets, all our favorite game changers. Should be a fun one. Stick around for it on Sunday Huddle presented by Hard Rock Bet. Go download it now on the Google Play Store, Apple App Store. Go hardrock.bet online today. Hard Rock's great because if you're new to the Super Bowl, you're not really sure what to bet in the Super Bowl. There's just so much input in terms of how much options you get in terms of props, out of props, game specials. Well, that's where the Discover page comes in. On the Hard Rock Bet app, you could just go over to the Discover page and you can see parlays, picks, promos, things that other users put together already, and you could just tail and tag these specific bets in just a few taps. That's how easy it is to get involved if you're the newer type of player, or if you're the experienced gambler, put together a very tricky particular parlay with all the game props. I'm going to share mine a little later in the program, but that's how perfect Hard Rock is because it acclimates to both types of players. Go try it now. Get up to $100 back in bonus bets if that first bet does not hit. Your first bet can be a parlay, can be a prop, over, whatever you like to bet in a game you choose. If it's the Super Bowl or anything else, win that first bet to get the same amount you bet back as a bonus bet. Hard Rock Bet offered by the Seminole Tribe of Florida, must be 21 plus and physically present in Florida. The wager terms, conditions apply. Concerned about gambling, call 1-888-ADMIT-IT. So Chiefs and Eagles today. We'll start with what's going on because I think the storyline throughout the week has been the Chiefs and the three-peat and the magic and Mahomes, and they're almost unstoppable. And it's close to a given that this team will eke out another close one. Well, we haven't really, throughout the week, talked about the implications of the other side. And the other side means Jalen Hurts, Saquon Barkley, and that Eagle team. Saquon Barkley wants to be the poster boy of this Eagle team, this Eagle offense, fine. But I think one thing that we have to come to grips with and sort of to establish is Jalen Hurts and what he has been able to accomplish the last couple of years. Sirianni as well. But Jalen Hurts has now had 2 Super Bowl appearances in 3 years, has been a proven regular season commodity at the very least. They've had ups and downs and ebbs and flows, but he has been mostly a reliable playoff performer. I know that Tampa game last year was ugly, but Jalen Hurts, I think at this point, is starting to be a little bit disrespected in terms of his ranks, where people categorize him, how good is he, how reliable is he? Because when you talk about the Eagles, everybody's weak link, red spot, is the quarterback position. Everywhere else, they're great. They got great receivers. They have a good tight end. They have a great offensive line. They have an excellent defense. They have a great running back. It seems to be the quarterback, not the liability, but might be the weak link amongst the pack. That might be true, but I don't think people need to start to understand what Jalen Hurts has brought to the table in actual, what he's done. And also what he can bring to the table if you get a good game out of him. Jalen Hurts is a complimentary quarterback. Let's get that out of the way. But I think in the grand scope of NFL quarterbacks, there's the greats, there's the Lamar Jacksons, there's the Josh Allens, there's the Tom Brady's, who's a bit of both, the Peyton Mannings, who are excellent individual players. Who some have had success in the postseason, some have not, but there was without a shrivel of doubt at the amount of talent that they have and how good they are. And if you're going to draft in the league, they're going to be within the first 5 picks. That's an established category of quarterback. There's another category of quarterback where you're young, you're trying to figure it out, and the jury's still out. There's another category of quarterback that I don't think it's talked about enough throughout the history of the NFL, where if you're a quarterback, you're not necessarily always the best, but you're reliable. And what do I mean by that? It means in a big game, you could win the game by doing nothing, and you could win the game by doing everything. Quarterbacks that come to mind when I think of this type of category, Eli Manning, who just missed out on the first ballot Hall of Famer over the weekend. Ben Roethlisberger, another one. Won 2 Super Bowls, a Hall of Fame level player, a Hall of Fame caliber player, had an excellent career, but never really was the best player in the league, the best quarterback in the league, even top 3, very rarely amongst his throughout his career. Eli is in the same category. But what about those two makes them special? Because in a big game, that postseason reliability, that postseason consistency to some sense, that is almost its own category. And there's a lot of teams that tomorrow would sign up for that type of rock and that type of consistency in a big spot. If Jalen Hurts is able to put together a good performance today, if he's able to win today in Super Bowl 59, I think Jalen Hurts is going to be flirting with that category closer than people realize. And I think that is unfair that he is being labeled as some sort of liability. Now, listen, I don't know if I trust him in a big spot, but I'm just saying if, the big if he is able to pull off something impressive today, because he played great the first time around, they lost. If he's able to do it, I think Jalen Hurts will launch himself into a category of quarterback that only really Hall of Famers or close to Hall of Famers are hanging around. I'm just establishing the what if. But I think the implications for Jalen Hurts might be bigger than we realized.
Why have we forgotten about Jalen Hurts being a great quarterback?
Well, because he's always had a great team around him. They have a great offensive line. They have a great running game. They have a great quarterback. They have a lot of good coordinators. Off of that, there's no doubt about it that the supporting cast is second to none. So there's that. But I think Jalen Hurts, he was excellent in 2022. 100% agree. That was really his coming out party.
Candidate.
Yeah, it was a coming out party for him. Ebbs and flows in 2023. And then this year, he's played winning football. Why does Mahomes get the pass for playing winning football, but Jalen Hurts doesn't? Mahomes can throw for 200 yards and escape a game, and everybody's like, oh, well, Mahomes is just playing winning ball. This is what Brady did towards the latter half of his career. Now, I know Mahomes and Jalen Hurts, 2 different bodies of work, 2 different accolades. Totally get it. But both are winning games. Both are winning playoff games. I don't think it's fair to label Mahomes as being, just get out of the game with a win, and Jalen Hurts saying, oh, well, he limits this offense. That's not fair.
I'm all with you on this one, Colin. I mean, we're talking about a few years ago, him being a potential top 4, top 3 quarterback in the league. And then next year, He, again, crumbles down the stretch, but then how do you rebound from that? You go out, you get a great running back, obviously, but we see some other great quarterbacks who have not been able to succeed with great running backs, and Jalen Hurts has. Jalen Hurts has done what he's needed to do, and to be honest, he's kind of shined in some big moments too. I'm not going to lie. He's turnover free in these playoffs. I think maybe one fumble there, right? But he's not giving the ball away. He's making plays happen. He's getting touchdowns early and often in these games, and now he's back in the Super Bowl. So why is it that we completely changed the narrative from MVP candidate to someone who had a bad stretch of 8 games 1 year, also still made the playoffs that year, by the way, and now he's back in the Super Bowl? He's right there in that conversation, Colin. I'm all with you.
In 8 games of his playoff body of work, excluding today, he is 5-3, and he has 17 touchdowns and 3 total turnovers, 2 interceptions in his first ever playoff game, and a fumble lost, of course, in that Super Bowl game against Kansas City the first time around. So this is somebody who doesn't necessarily turn it over, has played complimentary, safe football, but is also, as shown in that Super Bowl 2 years ago, is capable of putting together an excellent performance in a big spot.
He played lights out that game.
And he played lights out against Washington, too. I understand Saquon has a big thing to do with that, and it's easy to shine when Saquon's the highlighted guy on the scouting report. But I think Kansas City Chief fans are going into this game thinking, let's make Jalen Hurts beat us. And maybe that is the game plan, but I don't think that if Jalen Hurts is able to put something together here, I'm not going to walk out of there super surprised. I'm going to walk out of there like, listen, like, I'm impressed. But I think we need to start to put into perspective just how good he has been at winning games.
Now, to be fair, Colin, you would agree that it's the right decision to make Jalen Hurts beat you this game.
Two things can be true at the same time.
That is the right strategy. Let's just make that a fact. But at the same time, if he does step up, we're not supposed to be super surprised.
Not supposed to be. No, 100%. Because what Ben Roethlisberger was great at, Ben Roethlisberger had a chance to lose you a game here and there. He was a little bit more of a gunslinger. But when he had those great defenses in the early part of his career, Roethlisberger went in and said, give us a chance to make plays. Give us a chance to win these games. And that's what he did. And he made a couple excellent plays in those Super Bowls, Arizona being one of them. And for me, he never won an MVP. He was flirting with the top 5 NFL quarterbacks at the same time, playing amongst a bunch of Hall of Famers. But he was a reliable postseason player. Eli Manning, only 2 real big runs to his name. But one of those runs is one of the more impressive quarterback runs we've ever seen, the most yards by a quarterback in a postseason run that we've ever seen. So Eli, who we'll get to that a little later in the show, probably shouldn't have been a first ballot Hall of Famer, but a postseason proven commodity where if all you got to do is put a good roster around them or great roster around them and they could get it done. There's a lot of teams. There is 70% of teams in the NFL that would sign up for that today. The Chargers, sitting there with Herbert. Yeah, the team is not as good as the Eagles are. But Herbert, who is probably a better, if you're going to attribute each of the players, probably a better quarterback than Hurts. But I'm not sure in a big game, I'm not taking Herbert over Hurts.
There's a difference between being a better specimen of an athlete and being a better quarterback. Because
you're a better combine thrower, but he's a better winner.
Because as much as it is the physical ability, it's the mental ability and the ability to know where to throw, know when to throw.
And know how to win.
Exactly.
So now it's a learned skill that Tom Brady made a career off of, learning how to win. Mahomes is putting on a clinic of knowing how to win. Hurts knows how to win. Now, can he win against the guys who were the best in the league at winning and Mahomes? We'll see. But I don't think he gets his flowers nearly enough about the level he is playing at, the level he has brought this team to. And it's not just him. I know he has an excellent defense, an excellent offensive line. Everything around him is nearly perfect. But the quarterback still has to get it done. Because of that, I think Jalen Hurts, if he could get this done, would be flirting amongst the likes of where Roethlisberger and Manning made a career out of. Eli, that is. You could be a great individual player and never get it done. Breeze only got it done once. Rodgers only got it done once. Now, they flirted with it a couple times, a couple NFC championships here and there. But there's something about being able to win a game. That, to me, is indicative of a reliable player. And a reliable postseason player, there's another level to that. Jalen Hurts is, with 2 Super Bowl runs under his belt, I think this is somebody who is, at this point, at 26 years of age, being a little disrespected.
I was about to say, I find it interesting that you're comparing Jalen Hurts to guys like Roethlisberger and Manning because we've been able to see a decade and a half career length worthy of product. This kid's what, in his 4th season now?
This kid was drafted in this decade, in 2020.
I don't even know if you can compare them to those guys yet because we have no idea what the rest of the majority of Jalen Hurts' career is left.
Now, it's true. But I think Jalen Hurts is starting to learn what type of quarterback he needs to be. Because if you win a Super Bowl with him playing this way, then you kind of get your formula. A complementary player. He's never going to be your 1A. He's never going to be your A1. But he will complement the rest of the team and make plays when he needs to in order to win the game. He's not going to take over the game. He's not going to put the cape on and be a superhero. He's not going to be the Josh Allen in the playoff game. He's not going to be Lamar. But what he can be is somebody who, when you need a big drive or you need a big play, 2 or 3 times a game, not the whole game, he might be able to do it.
So you're talking about Josh Allen and Lamar Jackson, again, in the athletic quarterback type. So far, Jalen Hurts has been playing better than Josh Allen and Lamar Jackson. Now, granted, they've been...
I'll say Lamar. Josh has been an excellent postseason player.
True that.
And
he just keeps running up against them.
He's running into the same wall that Hurts is about to run into again. So Josh just has to run into it every year. Hurts will see if he can finally burst through the wall. He might walk through and we might be seeing 27-21 Chiefs tomorrow, and we'll be saying the same exact thing, that Mahomes is just the unstoppable force. And
you're right about that. We should not be knocking Jalen Hurts if he loses this game.
There's no guarantee of anything yet, but I'm just illustrating the what if. I think it's unfair to be labeling Jalen Hurts as some sort of weak link amongst this team because he's exactly what they need. If they had a gunslinger, a guy who gave away possessions, this Eagle team wouldn't be as good as they are now. They are great because they don't waste possessions. They're great because they have a dual threat quarterback. They're great because he's a good, outspoken, proven leader. That's why they're great. If they don't need a superstar to be great. He's not a superstar. But Roethlisberger was rarely a superstar as well. Eli, rarely a superstar. Hall of Fame level careers. You don't necessarily need to be the superstar to be lauded amongst all-time quarterbacks. And I think Jalen Hurts is starting to understand, if he plays his cards right today, the level, the category of quarterback that he could be within instead of the Dan Marinos of the world who are excellent individual players, but not as good in a postseason environment.
If you're Nick Sirianni, you're not going up to Jalen Hurts in the locker room today. You're putting your hands on his shoulders and saying, all right, you need to go play Superman ball and win us a ball game today. That's not what you do at all. You look at him and you say, play your game.
Yeah, play your game and be ready to make game-winning plays if need be. Don't go out there and put the whole game on your shoulders, but be ready for that play. Be ready for that spot. Be ready for that moment. And I like Hurts. Hurts handles himself well with the media. He's great with his teammates. Weirdly enough, last year, when they lost that Week 18 game to the Giants, and Hurts called Wink Martindale, the Giants defensive coordinator at the time, after the game and said, how'd you guys blitz package me? Because it was throwing me for a loop. How'd you guys handle your scouting report? Some people bashed Hurts for that. I thought that was great. Because Hurts is that self-awareness is a commodity as an NFL player. He's not acting like he's better than he is. He's desperate to get better. Sign me up. Sign me up. That is a reliable personality to have in your locker room. And he's not going to blow the roof off tonight. I don't expect him to. But if he comes out there playing a winning game like we've seen this entire postseason, and his defense is able to make a couple plays, the running game is able to make a couple plays, they play a team game, and whether he gets that MVP or not, if they're able to win it, it's time to start rewriting some history books about where Jalen Hurts ranks. Not an all-time great yet. He's 26. But 2 Super Bowl runs, hard to ignore. It's hard to ignore. Big fan of Jalen Hurts, weirdly enough. I hate the Eagles, but I like Jalen Hurts. Jalen Hurts is, the glass sculpture in a terrible situation. I can't deal with the Eagle fan. I can't deal with Sirianni. But Hurts handles himself right. He handles himself well. Got a lot to do. Does Jalen Hurts enter into a different realm, different category of quarterback that not a lot of quarterbacks enter? Russell Wilson's another one that comes to mind. A guy who didn't necessarily need to wear the cape all the time, but knew how to make a winning play. Now, he lost him a Super Bowl, but he was a play away from winning another Super Bowl. He got in his own way a little bit, but was a pretty good postseason player, had a lot of moments. I don't think it's unfair to put him near that category as well. Never an MVP, had a couple MVP-ish seasons, but never was the best player at his position. But I think a lot of people in the right situation, not today Russell Wilson, but Russell Wilson 5-6 years ago, I think a lot of people would have signed up for a Russell Wilson postseason run over a lot of players who were probably lauded this better than him.
There was a time when Russell Wilson was the only quarterback to have 4 straight 4,000-yard seasons.
Yeah.
He was Mr. Consistent in a great way. It wasn't just a guy who could get you some yards and some touchdowns. No, the man was balling out every year and doing well in the postseason. Jalen Hurts has hit this next level a few times now, and all he's got to do is step up, play his game, and take down the Goliath of the Chiefs that we are seeing today.
Russell Wilson, 9-8 in the postseason in 17 games. He's lost his last 3, by the way. But 9-8 in his postseason career, which is pretty good, all things considered. And somebody who has 27 touchdowns to 12 interceptions, which is pretty good. You will sign up for that. 30 touchdowns, technically, with the rushing as well. Somebody who has multiple postseason runs under his belt when he was super young, too. But a Russell Wilson postseason run, people would have signed up for that back in the day. Nowadays, I don't know if I'd sign up for Steeler Russell Wilson to come out and win me a game. But if Jalen Hurts plays his cards right, that's the type of player you're looking at. And that's the type of quarterback that deserves his contract. That's the type of quarterback that deserves his flowers. And that's a type of quarterback that should not be considered the liability on the field. Now, the Eagles are so well put together that he, weirdly enough, is the circled part of the depth chart and be like, take him out of his game, make him do the things he's uncomfortable with, and we have a chance of winning this game from the Chiefs' perspective. Make him throw it on early downs, get him in second on distance. That's probably the Chiefs' game plan. Send pressure after him. Spagnuolo's going to be blitzing him to no end. But if he plays safe, if he plays within his game, and if he's able to win this game, it's time to start establishing where Jalen Hurts hangs around amongst the NFL ranks at quarterback. Sunday Huddle presented by Hard Rock Bet over on ESPN 106.3. That was Cade Tjomsland, Colin Russo with you. We roll on here. Got to do our game-changing players of the game, the big game, a little later on in the program. You got the Super Bowl tonight. Looking forward to that. We got to do a little Blitz the Book later on. We got a 2-hour edition up till 2 p.m. Sunday Huddle presented by Hard Rock Bet on ESPN 106.3.
Live from the Anajar and Levine Accident Attorney Studios. Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Call 1-800-747-FREE. This is ESPN 106.3.
Let's be honest. If your performance in the bedroom feels more like, uh-oh, than whoa, you're not alone. But don't worry, we've got just the thing for you. Hexus MD's new Performance Blend. No awkward doctor visits, no prescriptions or crazy side effects, just a powerful, easy-to-use pill that gets you back in the game. Hexus MD's new Performance Blend works in just 15 minutes, and it's stronger than the competition. Use discount code ESPN50 for 50% off your first order. Don't wait. Visit HEXISMD.com.
Hi, it's Evan Cohen from Unsportsmanlike. Tonight, the stage is set, the lights are bright, and a champion will be crowned. Who will rise? Who will fall? And who will etch their name in football immortality? Find out with full Super Bowl coverage right here on ESPN 106.3.
DQ Grill and Chill, always your Valentine for delicious treats. Enjoy the blizzard of the month, the Red Velvet Cake Blizzard. Indulge in real red velvet cake pieces and cream cheese icing, blended with DQ Signature Soft Serve. Make sure you pick up your Cupid cake, a great Valentine's Day gift, with DQ Grill and Chill's custom red velvet or a specific flavor for your liking. $13.99 through Valentine's Day. DQ Grill and Chill with 2 locations, 4828 Lake Worth Road and US 1 just south of North Lake.
F45 Training West Palm Beach offers functional group fitness classes reimagined. Sign up for F45 today and visit their West Palm Beach location. Featuring high-intensity group workouts that are fast, fun, and results-driven, F45 always has the right workout for you. Not to mention, it takes just 45 minutes. Visit F45training.com today to find a studio near you and officially join the F45 Training family. F45, team training, life-changing.
Good Greek moving and storage. Your superhero movers.
It's the Good Greek Spiro. For the best move ever, go to goodgreek.com.
Good Greek moving and storage. Your superhero movers.
At St. Lucie Battery and Tire, batteries came before tires. We've been selling and servicing all types of batteries for over 50 years. So when you need a battery for nearly anything, we have it, as well as the fast, professional installation you need. We carry premium batteries for all your needs: automotive, commercial, marine, RV, and specialty. We also offer delivery and on-site installation, serving our customers quality products for over 50 years in the home of honest, reliable service. Go to slbt.com and book your next appointment.
Time now for the Land Rover Palm Beach Player of the Week, supporting local student athletes as they grow on the field, in the classroom, and in the community. Every Player of the Week is eligible to win a scholarship at the end of the year. This year, a $25,000 scholarship will be awarded to an athlete, with $10,000 going to the winner's high school athletic department. Land Rover Palm Beach, above and beyond. Here's Cade Tjomsland.
Our Land Rover Palm Beach Player of the Week is Benjamin Boys soccer captain Ford Cash. In the district championship last week, Ford scored 3 goals, breaking the all-time Benjamin Boys soccer goals record. Bucks won 4-3, and here's Ford's reaction to breaking the record.
Yeah, I mean, it's a good accomplishment. I'm pretty happy, but big thanks to all my teammates, all the boys assisting me. It's not possible without them, but yeah, it's definitely something when I found out the record a few weeks ago, I was striving to get, and it's a good feeling.
Congratulations, Ford, on being selected the Land Rover Palm Beach Player of the Week. Good luck to you and the rest of the Buccaneers in the state tournament.
Calling all sports fans, grab your MVP card and head to Duffy's where you can catch all of the action. Not an MVP? Sign up for free and start earning rewards today. Duffy's is voted the best sports grill year after year with their award-winning burgers and wings. Don't forget about Duffy's famous 2-for-1 drinks all day, every day. And with over 80 TVs in every location, you'll never miss a minute of the game. Visit Duffy'sMVP.com to learn more. Duffy's, our game is always on.
Buffoon, Orbit Topper, 19 Uber, Jailbreak, Ralph Chowder.
This is Sunday Huddle with Colin Russo, presented by Hard Rock Bet.
Super Bowl 59, 6:30 p.m. tonight on Fox between the Chiefs and the Eagles. Chiefs 15-2 regular season. Eagles 14-3. I guess more than that, but yeah, the total records. Eagles looking to finally get their comeback against the Chiefs after 2 years ago where the Chiefs took them down. Jalen Hurts, I think, being a little disrespected amongst the quarterback ranks. Patrick Mahomes, we know how great he is. Everybody knows how great he is. It's annoying how great he is. Let's move on. But I think Kansas City being -1 is essentially a pick-em. People are a little split on this. There are those people that think that the Chiefs are going to do what the Chiefs do. They're going to win close, and that's just going to be the game. Just make your peace with it. That Mahomes is going to get this done once again and satisfy the three-peat. And those are on the other side thinking that maybe the Eagles are the perfect type of constructed team to take on the Chiefs. They have an excellent defense. They have a great offensive line, so they could deal with that blitz-heavy defense with Steve Spagnuolo, defensive coordinator for the Chiefs. That defense on the Eagles can give Mahomes a couple different looks. Vic Fangio, a proven defensive coordinator for the Eagles, might be the perfectly constructed team. They could dominate the time of clock. They could dominate possession. Maybe a perfectly put-together team to take on Kansas City. Maybe we're just trying to convince ourselves here. It's been 2 weeks since we've seen these teams play. There's a lot of ways you could talk yourself down the rabbit hole, but I want to exercise. I'm thinking the Chiefs are going to win. I'm going to get this out of the way. I think the Chiefs are going to win today. I think Mahomes is going to get this done again. I think this is within a one-possession game at any point in the fourth quarter, either side winning. I think the Chiefs are going to pull it out because nobody is more reliable in a fourth quarter situation, do or die, get us some points drive than Patrick Mahomes. The only way for the Eagles to win in my possession, actually, we'll save that. Cade Tjomsland, Colin Russo with you on Sunday Huddle presented by Hard Rock Bet. For the Eagles to win, Cade, for the Eagles to get this done, whether you think they're going to win or not, it's a little bit more figure out how to win the game compared to the Chiefs. The Chiefs are just like, do your magic. Move the ball, blitz them heavy, get the ball with a chance in the fourth quarter, and let Andy and Patrick go to work. That's the game plan. And stop Saquon. That's the game plan. The Eagles is a little bit more tricky. There's a couple of different ways they could go at it. For you, if the Eagles were to win Super Bowl 59 today, they have to do what?
Keep Patrick Mahomes in the pocket. And I know that sounds crazy because Patrick Mahomes' greatest weapon is his arm. But so many times these playoffs, we have seen him scramble outside of the pocket, either make throws on the run or grab some cheap 10, 15 yards rushing. He got 2 rushing touchdowns against the Bills last week. He had another couple great plays against the Texans the week before.
He's a sneaky threat with his legs.
Exactly. You don't necessarily think of him as someone. We all know he's got legs.
Don't give him another dimension.
Exactly. Keep him inside the pocket. I think this secondary for the Eagles, and especially that linebacker core to take care of Travis Kelce, everyone is good enough to stay on your man and make him throw tighter footballs. Don't open up and don't get horizontal to where someone's going to be wide open in the middle because you're worried about Patrick Mahomes running. Keep him contained, whether that's an outside blitz that doesn't allow him to rush out there or something like that. I'm not the expert here, but all I know is every time Patrick Mahomes loses the pocket and he's got room to run, something dangerous always happens.
All right, so keep him in the pocket. That's a defensive game plan. Offensively, what do the Eagles need to do?
Don't turn the ball over. This team is talented enough. The run game's going to work. It is. I don't believe the Chiefs are going to ultimately stop Saquon Barkley. Jalen Hurts has been clean every single game. But we all know the moment you crack, the Chiefs are going to take advantage of it. I don't think it's as complicated for the Eagles offense as people think. Do your job, keep the ball clean, the weapons will get open.
All right. So it sounds to me like you're fairly confident that the Eagles can get this done today, are you?
They can get it done. I'm picking the Chiefs too. I am 0 for 3 in the last 3 AFC championships picking against the Chiefs. I took the Bengals, I took the Ravens, I took the Bills.
Yeah, we're not doing this anymore.
That's exactly where I'm at right now. But when I look at the roster for the Eagles, I have more confidence that the Eagles have a better chance this year than I did the 49ers did last year. Like I am loving what I'm seeing game in and game out from this Eagles team. Do your job. Keep the possessions. Like you said earlier in the program, which you can go back to and listen on our podcast on the Russo and Rizzo podcast. You said that the Eagles make efficient drives. They make productive drives. They don't waste them. They don't waste possessions. That's what the Eagles got to do today because you know for a fact the Chiefs are going to take advantage of every chance you give them.
Now, here's a key to this because I think it's a underlying variable. Whenever somebody plays the Chiefs, I think teams in the NFL get in their own head a little bit thinking that they have to be more aggressive than they usually are because it's the Chiefs.
Facts.
Because they know that the Chiefs are dangerous, because they know they're great in a big spot. They almost have to get out of their game plan to a sense to be over-aggressive, trying to compensate for the fact that it's the Chiefs. That almost is counterproductive in the grand scheme of things because you're more inclined to make a mistake, costly turnover, costly play if you act like that. To your point, staying within your game plan, all a team like the Chiefs needs is one mistake. All teams like this, all teams like that, Patriots, same way. One mistake. Yeah, they might get a couple calls, bank on that with the referees. But that Bills game, it was 22-21, that 4th and short, doing the same quarterback sneak over and over again. The Chiefs, whether you think they stopped it or not, I thought it was a first down, but it was too close. You can't put the games in that game in the refs' hands at that point. So there's partial blame to the Bills there too, back in the AFC Championship game. That was the turn the Chiefs needed. That was the situation the Chiefs needed. That's how this works. Don't put the Chiefs in a position to capitalize on a mistake. I said this on Friday on Russo and Rizzo. It's not making magic happen. It's preventing magic from happening. Don't let the Chiefs do what the Chiefs do off of a turnover, off of a costly play, off of a 4th down where this is Nick Sirianni all over. If it's late third quarter, early fourth quarter, and it's a bit of a coin flip on whether the team should go for it. And maybe in a normal game, the Eagles wouldn't go for it, but because it's the Chiefs, because they're all in their own head about it, because it's a huge game, I could see the Eagles on a 4th and 4 around midfield where they don't necessarily need to go for it. Go for it. All of a sudden, you don't get it. Chiefs get quick points out of it. Those are the type of plays, not the turnover, not the pick. Those are the types of plays that lose you the games.
Chris Canty on Unsportsmanlike, which you can listen to from 6 to 10 a.m. on ESPN 106.3, said something earlier in the week that he's been saying all year long. Nick Sirianni just needs to get out of the way. And it sounds demeaning when you put it like that. But the point he's trying to make is
you don't need to make yourself feel seen.
Don't change. This team has the roster. This team has the talent. This team has had the game plan all playoffs long so far. There's not really been any doubt who's going to win each of these games the Philadelphia Eagles have played in these playoffs. So why divert yourself from that? You just need to play your game better than the Chiefs play their game. You don't need to play the Chiefs game. You don't need to play Buffalo game when you saw them play against each other in the regular season. Don't go outside of your zone. And something else that I heard on Unsportsmanlike, Sal Palantonio, the longtime great ESPN reporter from the Philadelphia area, who I forget what the name of the new show he started doing with some guys, but basically it was a film breakdown of the Eagles. He said that the Eagles need to be throwing early and often. And my first thought was, no, please don't try to go away from the formula.
Why are you changing? Because it's the Chiefs? That's what the Chiefs feed on. That's what they feed. They feed on that. It's almost that fear, that aura surrounding the team that you can't be what you are normally because it's the Chiefs. You have to act outwardly, uncharacteristically to try to make something happen. It's not necessarily the case. Play within your game. The Eagles, now to their credit, did what they were supposed to do. They had an early touchdown, but they sort of let the game fall into them. They let the Commanders hand the game to them off those costly fumbles throughout the game. And the Eagles just did what they did. Hurts played safe. They ran the ball all over them. The defense was pesky. They got to Daniels a couple times. They let the game fall to them. I thought the Bills would do that against the Chiefs. But then earlier in the game when Nance and Romo were talking about how on the 4th and shorts or the 2-point conversion, wherever that is, how the Bills always do that quarterback sneak over the left guard, and the Chiefs know that. And the Chiefs, that is a focal point of that defensive alignment, is that Josh Allen will always go over the left guard on a quarterback sneak. They did it about 4 or 5 times throughout that game, and the Chiefs finally burned him. They finally burned him on it. It's a sense of don't give them an opportunity to capitalize on a mistake. Because if you play them straight up, it almost favors in your direction. The reason people think that the Chiefs are going to win, the reason that the Chiefs are the betting favorite on this, is because people are under the impression, gamblers are under the impression that the Eagles are going to make a mistake. If you do not make a mistake, if this is a 0 turnover either side game, I think I'd favor the Eagles. I think that's where I'm at.
I'm 100% with you.
But it's the costly mistake that will determine the game. The Bills even got a gift with that Mahomes fumble in the AFC Championship game, but they matched it with another one. They matched it with a turnover on downs that they didn't necessarily need. Now, whether you think that it was a problem for the Bills, circling back to this game, to go for 2 when they didn't necessarily need to, keep it a 3-point game, it would have given them an opportunity to have the game tied at the end of it with a chance to win. Can't think like that because that's too earlier in the game, but I know there were some complaints about how McDermott handled that. Point being, the Bills matched their mistake. If this is a 0 turnover each side game, I favor the Eagles. But Sirianni makes me nervous. I think that's fair to say. Sirianni might try to pull a Dan Campbell, Dan Quinn impression. Weirdly enough, when Dan Campbell just lost and Dan Quinn just lost, being ultra aggressive, I could see him having a moment or two where instead of 3, you go for it on 4th. Or instead of punting, you go for it on 4th and 4. Instead of taking your extra points, you go for 2. Something like that to cost them points, to cost them momentum, that's where they'll get burned.
Now, here's what I want to say about that. And I agree with you to an extent. But what I don't want us to do on Monday is if there is a moment where Nick Sirianni goes for the field goal instead of a 4th and 1, he takes the safe route with points or whatever, and it ultimately costs him because he didn't take the risk you can't go out and burn him saying you didn't take the risk.
You're right.
Because I think we've done that in other cases.
First half, that's where that happens, where all of a sudden you're chasing points the rest of the game. In the fourth quarter, late in the game, even second half, it's situational. So you got to read the room.
True that.
I'm not saying it's black or white. Read the room, read the situation. But when you don't, and that's when on a need-be basis, if you need to do it up, we think this is going to be big, let's do it. But if it's the second quarter and you're pulling this off and you're being safe, I'm not going to sit back there late on Monday. I'm telling you this. If they go for 3 instead of going for it on fourth in the second quarter, and they end up missing those points late in the game, I'm not going to burn Sirianni for that. But it's the fourth quarter where it's situational, and we'll see.
Like, I think we should be complimenting the Chiefs more if they go out and make a great play for the win, rather than hammering Nick Sirianni on a decision to not go for something.
Is there a situation at hand where we could walk in here on Monday and say the Eagles were too conservative in the game? There probably is a route where we could say that.
There is, but I don't think it should necessarily be the headline of the game.
No, it depends. Of course, we still have to watch the game. We're acting like the game already happened, and we still have to see what happens. There's a level to what the Eagles do. We've seen how they play in the postseason. They run the ball. It complements to their passing game. They have talent all over the field in the passing game, and they utilize that. But the running game is the focal point of that offense. Doesn't mean they don't pass it. If they act within their offense, it's hard to be conservative with that type of talent everywhere. So we'll see. But for the Eagles to win for me, a game-defining mistake doesn't even need to be a turnover, but a game-defining mistake is what the Chiefs feed on. That is the lure on the rod. That is what you should avoid at all costs. Don't get over-aggressive. You don't necessarily need to because it's the Super Bowl and because it's the Chiefs. There's a time and a place to be aggressive. Know when to pick your battles. Know when to pick your spots. That's a big key to the game. If this turnover battle is 0-0, I think I'd pick the Eagles to win the game. I think I would. But I'm anticipating some turnovers tonight, maybe on either side. We got to roll on here. Sunday Huddle, Hard Rock Bet, ESPN 106.3.
Live from the Anajar and Levine Accident Attorney Studios. Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Call 1-800-747-FREE. This is ESPN 106.3.
Imagine a place where it's always sunny, drinks are ice cold, and the food's bursting with flavor. Welcome to Hurricane Grill and Wings. Today's forecast, crispy wings, big burgers, and seafood tacos that are even better with Pepsi. Escape from the ordinary. Visit hurricanewings.com to find a restaurant nearest you.
Months of battles, upsets, and unforgettable moments all lead to this, the Super Bowl. One final game to decide it all. And ESPN 106.3 is your home for every play, every hit, and every championship moment. The biggest game of the year is here all day long on ESPN 106.3.
Hi, I'm Scott Smith with Smith Ball Baez and Prather, Florida Injury Lawyers. As you have likely seen and heard, law firm advertising is at an all-time high. Attorney ads seem to be part of every radio and TV commercial segment. Some firms are even using paid actors and actresses to speak for them. At Smith Ball Baez and Prather, we know that the decision to hire a law firm should never be based on advertisements alone. It is our past results and many positive 5-star reviews that we encourage you to read at smithball.com to learn more about our law firm. We have board-certified lawyers. We have lawyers listed in the best lawyers in America and in super lawyers. But most importantly, we have experienced lawyers located right here in Palm Beach County and the Treasure Coast that are ready to be your advocate and your voice, and fully prepared to start fighting for your legal rights today. Our purpose, legal power. Our mission, huge results. If you've been injured, the lawyers at Smith Ball Baez and Prather will help. Call us at 500-HELP, 500-HELP. With Smith Ball Baez and Prather, help is just a local phone call away. Offices Palm Beach Gardens, Boca Raton, and Port St. Lucie.
Roll with Hard Rock Bet for Big Game 59 because we are rolling out over $5.9 million in bonus bets. The big game kicks off Sunday in New Orleans, but get your share of Big Easy bonus bets now so you can place more bets on us instead of using your own cash. It's the big game rollout. 5.9 million in promos only on Hard Rock Bet. Offered by the Seminole Tribe of Florida. Must be 21 plus and physically present in Florida to wager. Terms and conditions apply. Concerned about gambling? Please call 1-888-ADMIT-IT.
Business owners, are your employees driving you nuts? Is money tight? Or have you just poured your heart and soul into your business and now it's time to retire and just relax? At Transworld Business Advisors, they have buyers from all over the world ready to buy your business now. Call for a confidential conversation about your business's current value. 561-203-5121. That's 561-203-5121 or visit tworld.com today.
This Valentine's Day, give the one you love a gift with endless possibilities. Give a gift card to the Breakers Palm Beach. Breakers gift cards let you treat the one who matters most to the things they love the most, like irresistible oceanfront getaways, lessons at the Breakers' new golf and racket club, pampering at the exquisite spa, and shopping at the resort's stylish collection of on- and off-site boutiques. Gift cards may also be used for dining at the Breakers' renowned restaurants and bars, including Echo, Henry's Palm Beach, HMF, and Flagler's Steakhouse. What's even better, for a limited time, when you purchase a $500 gift card online at thebreakers.com, you'll receive an additional $50 on that card, compliments of the Breakers. This Valentine's Day, give the one you love a gift card to the Breakers Palm Beach and remind them why they fell in love with you in the first place. Visit thebreakers.com today.
Near left, H2 chip, double drag, goes, halfback balloon, dummy spot call, hard 3.
This is Sunday Huddle with Colin Russo, presented by Hard Rock Bet.
Listen, you've been in a car accident, truck accident, suffered a slip and fall, had an accident of any sort. My friends Mark Anajar and Glenn Levine at Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys are here to fight for you. Listen, I know with Anajar and Levine, they got my back no matter what. So they don't charge you unless you win. They work tirelessly to get you the maximum compensation that you deserve. Listen, why settle for just any attorney? They're the best in the business for a reason. Demand Anajar and Levine today because that's the Anajar and Levine difference. All it takes, one phone call to take back control of your life. Don't wait. Call for your free consultation today. That's 1-800-747-FREE. 1-800-747-3733. Take back control now with Anajar and Levine. Sunday Huddle presented by Hard Rock Bet on ESPN 1063. Cade, Tjomsland, Colin, Russo with you from the City Play Studios in downtown West Palm Beach. Up till 2 p.m. today, the national programming of Super Bowl Sunday rolls on here. Cade, Super Bowl Sunday, is this a holiday for you, by the way? Are you
absolutely.
one of those guys? You label this a holiday.
Oh, okay. For sure. This is like when I start singing, this is the most wonderful time of the year, is this day.
All right, fine. How do you handle this day? Do you treat it like a holiday? Is it family in town? What do you do?
Yeah, so I've been actually doing the same thing since I was about 4 years old. We always go to our same family friend's house. So I'm originally from the Orlando area, but I actually grew up about 2 hours north of here in a town called Cocoa Beach. And at the time, when I was living there, I moved when I was like 9 years old. But there was a family friend who worked with my parents' business, and he was also my football coach. And he also happened to be a world-class chef. So we always went to his house. I go to his house every year, 2 days a year, Thanksgiving and Super Bowl Sunday.
You have Super Bowl Sunday at Thanksgiving at your football coach's house?
Yes, sir, I do.
Wow.
Yes.
Okay.
So Thanksgiving, Super Bowl Sunday are the only 2 days I'm over there.
So you're driving up from West Palm all the way up to Cocoa Beach later today for the game?
Yes, sir.
What time will you get there?
We'll probably get there just after 6 o'clock. That's when the food's coming out.
Oh, so you don't make it earlier for like a whole pleasantry hour. That's not you.
Well, right now, I have the show till 2, and it's not necessarily like I can today, but my parents are going to get to that house around the same time. So we're all kind of just showing up around the same time.
How many people are at this event?
Depends each year, depending on how much coach wants to invite people, but usually there's between 10 and 12 people.
Oh, okay. So this is an intimate environment. I thought the whole team was going. Like
No. This is a very, we've been close family friends.
All right, good, because I was expecting you to say like 30, 40 people. And
Absolutely
I think that's
not.
too many people, right?
No. There's about 18 to 20 people who show up for Thanksgiving. There's about 12 of us who show up for the Super Bowl.
Now, categorize the people, group them for me. How many people of these 10 to 12, how many are there for the commercials? How many are there for the party? How many are there for the game?
So my family of 4 is there for the game. His family of 3 is there for the game and the party as well. And then the other family friends, a lot of them are there for, I'd say about another 2 or 3 are there for the game, and another 2 or 3 are there for
the event,
the environment, the food. Obviously, like the number one reason we're there is because of the food. It's that good. Yeah.
Does he do like normal Super Bowl stuff? Dip?
It's the same year. It's the same thing every year. So the appetizers that come out, he makes a big vat of queso in his crock pot.
Okay.
So we got the chips and dip, which, by the way, counts as nachos. That whole debacle you had with
Totally. Me and Christian Cat, my producer on Russo and Rizzo, which you can hear weekdays 4 to 6 on these very airwaves. He said we were drafting the Super Bowl foods. I drafted nachos fairly early on, like my second or third pick. He takes chips and chips and dip, the pick after that. I said, hold on, timeout. Tomato. They're the same things. You can't do that. And we got into a whole argument that they were separated. But you agree with me.
Yeah, I agree with you 100%.
So stupid.
Right? Whatever you want to call it. It's the chip. It's whatever you're going to put.
Nachos are the chip without doing the actual dipping motion. Like, that's really what it is.
100% with you. So we start off with that, and then the entree is a soft burrito with either grilled steak or grilled chicken. And it's build it your own. So he's got the bar with steak and chicken.
So it's like a little taco bar.
Exactly. Taco bar in the kitchen, grilled steak, grilled chicken, whichever you want, and then the dessert is an Oreo cream pie. Every single year. And I wouldn't miss it for anything.
That's pretty good, too, because that's 3 things. So you got to make sure you nail the 3 things.
Yes, sir.
Because it's not like a whole thing where,
Nope, and it comes out, like he times out when it comes out. So, like, the entree won't be out there when I originally show up. It'll come out, like, when the game's about to start and something like that.
So you don't have a problem. You don't have the problem with the Super Bowl party people. That group of people that show up, they're there for the event, they're there for the commercials, they don't care about the game, they have no interest in it. It's more of a distraction. You don't have that at your Super Bowl.
I don't have too many of them. I have like 1 or 2 depending on how many other family friends come.
It's when there's a lot of them because then they feed off each other.
Yeah, no. And we all, but it's also cool because we also love like watching the halftime show and watching the commercials.
Fine.
We love it also.
100%. You could like that. You can't be there for that, but you could like that.
Yeah, no, we got nothing. We're all crazy, great, diehard football fans. It's a lot of fun. We actually, the way I do my preseason picks is all of us get together on a group chat and we pick the Super Bowl before week 1 of the NFL. So we've got a spreadsheet going with all 7-10 of us who participate, and we've got AFC Championship, NFC Championship, and a couple other stats, and that's our little pick'em game in our family friend
group. What was your pick?
So there were several things that we picked, but mainly I was Chiefs-Lions.
I was Chiefs-Lions as well.
Yep. And then there was also, for the first time this year, he added a whole bunch of other categories, like receiving yards, rushing yards, season leaders.
Did you hit anything?
I hit most defensive touchdowns with the Atlanta Falcons.
You guys do a pick'em at the beginning part of the year.
This is the first year
most defensive touchdowns. You would have lived by a defense.
He added like 6 other categories to the Super Bowl picks this year because we kept having like last year we had a tie.
This is strange.
And some other stuff.
You're pushing it. Defensive touchdowns by a defense is a very niche statistic to pick at the beginning part of the year, but you hit it.
I had it.
You win anything?
No.
You don't win anything.
No,
all right, so you just do that.
Bragging rights. Yeah, pretty much.
All right, so you're doing that. You do the same thing every year. You know what I'm doing? I different every year. When I was in college, I sometimes did a Super Bowl party. When I was in college, I sometimes watched it just with my roommates. I think this year, I'm having one buddy come up who lives down in Fort Lauderdale. And I think I'm just going to do like 2 people watch the game, nice and peace and quiet. And I haven't done that in years. And I'm thoroughly looking forward.
That's a vibe.
Total. Now, and I'm sure I'm going to handle the food because maybe he's coming up a little earlier. Maybe you go to the grocery store and you figure out something. All right, we can put together that and that because it's just 2 people. You're just satisfying, which is fine. So I'm doing the actual, don't bother me, sitting down, watching the game. Let me enjoy myself. No rah-rah, no fireworks. I'm going to move on.
Listen, over the break, you got pretty excited that we have a deal with DQ. So you might just have to go over there tonight.
I didn't know that we had a thing with DQ. I hear a bunch of Dairy Queen commercials on ESPN 106.3. I was confused by that. But all right, so Super Bowl holiday, Cade does the party, but it's an intimate party, same people every year. Now, hold on a second. When you started dating your now wife,
yes,
she was added into the equation.
Yes.
Is there a whole onboarding process with getting new people invited to the party?
No, actually, my coach tells me, like, listen, bring people. Like, I would always try to invite as many friends from college. Like, hey, let's carpool, let's go. Like, he likes bringing friends and family.
I was
like
okay.
that.
I was anticipating the other side. This is like,
Nope.
hold on,
Nope.
password at the door.
Open door.
Okay.
Open door policy.
Open
now, I will
door.
say, though, my now wife is not a huge sports football fan. This was a deal breaker for me. If you didn't want to come to the Super Bowl party, we were going to have to let it be, and she's totally cool with it. But that's how seriously I take this party. That's how seriously I take this party.
You said we have to go to the Super Bowl party? That was the deal breaker?
If she didn't want to go to the Super Bowl party, even over like Thanksgiving or any other holiday,
this wasn't going to work.
This wasn't going to work. If she didn't want to come to Coach's house for the
and
Super Bowl.
you forget to ask, so you're on one knee with the ring in your hand. You're like, hold on a second. Super Bowl party, are you okay with going? And she goes, yeah, Cade, we could go. And you're like, all right, will you marry me? Like,
Pretty much.
That's how it went?
That's
All
how
right.
it works.
Wow, fascinating. So this is a very special place in your heart.
I look
Super
forward
Bowl
to this day every year. I don't even care who's playing it. The fact that I get to see, because I don't really get to
it's
see.
like a family friend event, so you get to see him
Yep.
in a while and the whole thing. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not a Super Bowl party person because I've been to a couple that are entirely too packed. I've been to a couple that have 30, 40 people in there. And that, to me, where there's multiple rooms with TVs,
Yeah.
it's too much. Too much going on, too much movement. This guy's getting up to get more drinks or getting more food, then all of a sudden is getting in the way, walking around the ottoman. And you got the other side where you got this person who just spilled the water all over the carpet, and they're trying to get the paper
100%.
towels plotted down on the carpet. And you get the 4 people behind you who are standing with their Miller Lights right behind us, asking which commercial they thought was the best while Kansas City's driving. That drives me crazy. And then you got the guy who, I understand having picks, but is who a degenerate gambler right in front of me. And he has every pick of, the shoelace color of every player.
Yeah.
And that drives me crazy as well when the guy is a vocal, emotional gambler. Dude, calm down. I'm trying to enjoy a game here. I don't need you to get all upset when your second quarter Kelsey over does not hit. That does not interest me. So I've had not bad experiences, but I've been to Super Bowl parties like that, where there's one of every type of person you ever can imagine. I like the food. I like seeing people. This is also just like a football game to me. Like, you're here to watch a game. You throw a Memorial Day barbecue if we're going to go and like socialize and have a whole party environment. So I don't know. Call me a hater. Being as young as I am, maybe I am a little, I don't know, what's the word, washed in that sense, or a little older than I give off for that. But I don't know. The Super Bowl party, I haven't had enough great ones to justify it year in and year out. Sounds like you found your formula. You know it works. You keep doing it. I haven't found that formula of the perfect way to watch the game for me because I do it differently every year. And I don't make a whole food. The last 2 years, I have not made a big deal about getting a lot of food, certain foods. I didn't make a big deal out of it at all. Like, I think I just had dinner, and that was it. And I just watched the game. Maybe I'll change that this year, but I'm not sure yet. I'm not sure. But with Super Bowl parties, all right, how about this? Since you do the taco station, I didn't hear a lot of things that were on the Super Bowl snack list. Outside of the ones, so you have the chips and queso, you have the taco station, and you have the Oreo cream pie. Of the other Super Bowl foods, the staples, where would you put like the 1 and 2? Because you don't have the other ones, so it's the same thing every year. So this is like if you weren't going to have the spread you have tonight, what would be those staple Super Bowl foods for you?
Man, that's a tough one for me. Again, I haven't necessarily. So
you don't know.
Yeah. Again, I'm not super used to anything or like that.
Because I got yelled at when I did the draft with Christian Cat on Russo and Rizzo earlier in the week. I took like burgers, which sliders falls under the umbrella.
Yep.
And then I took like pizza too. And he's like, "What are you, a 13-year-old's birthday party?" And I'm like, "Hold on a second. It's reliable. It's easy. It's easy to get a lot of. It satisfies the whole crowd. Burgers and pizza, and you get a good dessert on top. You're good to go. You're good to go."
When it comes to like a pre-snack like that, I'm not a guy who wants to have meal type foods. I want picker foods. I want small things that I can put a whole bunch in my plate. So like I wouldn't go for pizza or burgers in that instance. Like there's the entree and then there are pick'em snacks. They are separate categories in my mind. So whether that comes to different types of chips or like I haven't had pigs in a blanket in a long time. So like that type of more pick'em type snacks. When it comes to, so have you had those mini barbecue hot dogs?
Yeah, what do they call them? Pigs in a blanket? No,
that's when you put the bread around them. But it's that type of hot dog when you just put them in a whole bunch of barbecue sauce.
Okay.
Those are a go-to for me too.
Wow. Okay. Interesting. Super Bowl snacks, Super Bowl parties. It's that time of the year where your coworkers, or you're going with family, or you're going with extended family, or that one-person house that is a staple yearly and going to watch the big game at. I know that's this time of the year. It's a holiday for a lot of people, which is why Monday post-Super Bowl in American culture should be a work holiday or a school holiday, but it's not. And I wish that changes in the future. Maybe if they expand it, go to President's Day, maybe they'll make a whole thing about it. But we got to roll on here. Sunday Huddle, presented by Hard Rock Bet. On the flip side of things, we'll get into our game changers of the game. Cade and I will come in with 3 players apiece that are going to need to have big showings for either side in order to make game-defining plays, game-changing plays, and ultimately decide who's going to win. Super Bowl 59, 6:30 tonight, Eagles and Chiefs. Should be a fun one. Stick around for the next hour. Sunday Huddle, presented by Hard Rock Bet, ESPN 106.3.
This is ESPN 106.3, a Good Karma Brands radio station.
Find official rules for all your favorite ESPN West Palm contests by visiting ESPNWestPalmContests.com. That's ESPNWestPalmContests.com. You're listening to ESPN 106.3, the ESPN app, and streaming on your smart speaker.
Roll with Hard Rock Bet for Big Game 59 because we're rolling out over $5.9 million in bonus bets. The big game kicks off Sunday in New Orleans, but get your share of Big Easy bonus bets now so you can place more bets on us instead of using your own cash. It's the big game rollout. $5.9 million in promos only on Hard Rock Bet. Offered by the Seminole Tribe of Florida. Must be 21 plus and physically present in Florida to wager. Terms and conditions apply. Concerned about gambling? Please call 1-888-ADMITTED.
Improve your golf game fast at the all-new Kaiser University Golf Coaching Center. The Kaiser University Golf Coaching Center has the facilities, tools, and coaching you need. Enjoy the best facilities in the area with an expansive chipping and putting area, practice bunkers, a huge putting green, plus a 2,000 square foot indoor training area with 3 hitting bays, cutting-edge analysis technology, and more. The Kaiser University Golf Coaching Center in the heart of Palm Beach County off I-95 and the Turnpike. Find out more at KaiserGolfCenter.com.
Introducing the 2025 Land Rover Discovery Sport. Designed for those who crave adventure, style, and performance. And now it's more accessible than ever with 3.9% APR for 60 months. For well-qualified buyers, that means payments as low as $1,837 a month per $1,000 financed. Visit Land Rover Palm Beach located on Okeechobee Boulevard or head over to LandRoverPalmBeach.com today for more information on how you can take home the 2025 Land Rover Discovery Sport.
DQ Grill and Chill, always your Valentine for delicious treats. Enjoy the blizzard of the month, the Red Velvet Cake Blizzard. Indulge in real red velvet cake pieces and cream cheese icing, blended with DQ Signature Soft Serve. Make sure you pick up your Cupid cake, a great Valentine's Day gift, with DQ Grill and Chill's custom red velvet or a specific flavor for your liking. $13.99 through Valentine's Day. DQ Grill and Chill with 2 locations, 4828 Lake Worth Road and US 1 just south of North Lake.
Business owners, are your employees driving you nuts? Is money tight? Or have you just poured your heart and soul into your business and now it's time to retire and just relax? At Transworld Business Advisors, they have buyers from all over the world ready to buy your business now. Call for a confidential conversation about your business's current value. 561-203-5121. That's 561-203-5121 or visit tworld.com today.
ESPN 106.3, playing hits from the 80s, 90s, and today. Hey, it's Evan Cohen from Unsportsmanlike. Sometimes your ESPN 106.3 signal gets invaded by 80s jams. Honestly, we're not mad at it. So here's a little flashback before we get back to sports, because who doesn't love a synth solo? Let's rock.
Calling all sports fans, grab your MVP card and head to Duffy's where you can catch all of the action. Not an MVP? Sign up for free and start earning rewards today. Duffy's is voted the best sports grill year after year with their award-winning burgers and wings. Don't forget about Duffy's famous 2-for-1 drinks all day, every day. And with over 80 TVs in every location, you'll never miss a minute of the game. Visit Duffy'sMVP.com to learn more. Duffy's, our game is always on.
Anajar and Levine.
Call 1-800-747-FREE. That's 1-800-747-3733.
ESPN 1063.
WUUB Jupiter, a Good Karma Brands radio station. Huddle up.
66 Hitch X Vegas Flare. I'm one ready.
It's time to break down the boldest plays.
Let's go, baby. Boom.
Hardest hits. Woo! And the craziest stories from around the NFL.
Touchdown, Tampa Bay. Fire the cannons.
This is Sunday Huddle with Colin Russo, presented by Hard Rock Bet.
Second hour of Sunday Huddle on ESPN 106.3. Colin Russo, Cade Tjomsland with you live from the City Place Studios in downtown West Palm Beach on ESPN 106.3. Sunday Huddle presented by Hard Rock Bet. Go download it today for the big game tonight, 6:30 on Fox. Now that you're into this point of the season where you get the NBA, the NFL, you got a college basketball now in full swing. You got spring training coming up here pretty soon. You got the Delray Beach Open throughout the week if you're like to sprinkle some action over on tennis. It's great because it's got the Discover page to put together different parlays for you, but it's also got everything available to you in terms of your sports book. Hard Rock Bet is great for the newer type of player, but it's also great for the experienced type of player. It caters to both sides. Go get started now and get up to $100 back in bonus bets if your first bet does not hit. That first bet can be a parlay, prop, over, futures, whatever you like to bet, any game you choose. With that first bet to get the same amount you bet back as a bonus bet. It's offered by the Seminole Tribe of Florida. Must be 21 plus and physically present in Florida. The wager terms and conditions apply. Concerned about gambling? Call 1-888-ADMIT-IT. Well, Cade, today, now that we only have one game to choose from, the amount of players that we could choose are quite limited. But what we're going to do, 3 apiece, it's time for us one by one to give our game changers of the day for the Super Bowl. Game Changers of the Day, presented by Hexist MD. It is your partner in weight management methods. Visit HEXISMD.com to get started today. That's HEXISMD.com. Hexist MD. Cade, we're going to come up with 3 apiece, offense, defense, either team. You will start us off. Your first game changer of the game is...
Let's make this happen. I mentioned earlier that the Eagles are going to want to keep Patrick Mahomes in the pocket. Well, if he does stay in the pocket, who's he going to throw to? I can't imagine Travis Kelce's going to be open for too much longer. How about Mr. Hollywood Brown? Marquise Brown has really been quiet these playoffs. He's only got 3 total receptions, and all of those came against the Buffalo Bills for only 35 yards. You got to get this guy going. DeAndre Hopkins has been disappointing. Xavier Worthy can only do so much, and I think Travis Kelce's going to get bottled down in the middle. Marquise Brown, one of the fastest guys in the league, along with Xavier Worthy. You got to open up the outside at some point if you want to keep up with these Philadelphia Eagles. Hollywood Brown needs to make something happen.
Zach Bond, linebacker for the Philadelphia Eagles. Zach Bond, who's had an outstanding career resurgence after signing with the Eagles, a special teams guy, in and out of the lineup for the Saints throughout his career. Wisconsin guy, that is, too. Comes to the Eagles, now a first-team All-Pro, puts together quite the campaign. And he's great because he's excellent in coverage. He's a ball hawk. He's all over the place. He's got a tall task today because the Chiefs love that middle of the field. They love that Travis Kelce nuanced, give a feel out for the game, because if there's a savvy player, if you're going to try to define what a savvy player is, I think Travis Kelce is probably the namesake. So Zach Bond's going to have his hands full today. Whether he's on Kelce or not, he is going to need to command that middle of the field to make sure him and the rest of the linebackers are in tune and not letting Travis Kelce beat them. Travis Kelce is a big game player. He is the definition of a big game player. He will show up. It doesn't matter how old he is. Doesn't matter how bad he's been playing. If it's a big spot, Travis Kelce is very good at getting into the end zone and becoming a factor. Zach Bond is going to need to have a big game today for the Eagles to maintain that passing attack, keep everything in front of him, but also don't let Travis Kelce beat them.
Let's flip it over to the other side of the field when it comes to the Philadelphia Eagles offense. You mentioned earlier how Spagnuolo is going to blitz the heck out of Jalen Hurts. I actually don't think he will that much. Jalen Hurts is one of the best quarterbacks right now against the blitz in these playoffs. He's got a 104.5 passer rating, 0 interceptions, 210 yards. He's doing great against the blitz. He did it great all year long. Spagnuolo's going to try to back down in coverage and really keep them inside the first down marker. So to get pressure, you got to have Chris Jones doing well. If you're the Eagles, that's the key guy. So any offensive lineman, I'm talking Jordan Mailata, Landon Dickerson, Cam Jurgens, Mekhi Becton. You want to talk about a resurgence of career. Mekhi Becton now with the Eagles. And obviously the veteran Lane Johnson. Any offensive lineman that is lined up against Chris Jones is going to have their hands full. And if they can keep him away from Jalen Hurts, this Eagles offense should thrive. So basically, the offensive line for the Eagles, specifically if you're lined up against Chris Jones.
I'll steal it on the other side. The tackles specifically for Kansas City. Jawan Taylor, Joe Tooney's probably going to be out there, who's a great interior lineman who had to shift out. And I believe they got Mike Caliendo in there at left guard today. That's not a weak point, but it's not necessarily the strong point of what the Kansas City does. The interior of the offensive line is outstanding, and the exterior has some question marks. With the amount of talent that the Eagles have on the outsides of their defensive line, especially in the interior offensive linemen are going to have their hands full. So that means that these tackles are going to be on islands with blitzing linebackers, blitzing, nickel corners, blitzing safeties, left on over the field. They're going to try to create a big circle, a big whirlwind around Mahomes. Those tackles are going to be on islands throughout the game a lot. They're going to need to pull their part. They're going to need to pull their weight to now get Patrick into some trouble. The Chiefs' tackles are going to need to have huge games today in order for Kansas City to see some success.
Let's talk about some special teams. Jake Elliott for the Philadelphia Eagles is going to need to hit some kicks today. You know Harrison Butker is going to do his job. Jake Elliott has not been having the best of seasons this year, and I've actually heard some Philly fans who have been unhappy with his performances. He's missed some extra points this postseason. He's done all right with the field goals, but you need him to come up clutch, and you're probably going to need him to come up clutch in a big way. He is currently 1 for 8 in 50-plus field goals this year. I think he's going to have to knock one down today. You got to have some good special teams. We have seen the Chiefs take advantage of poor special teams and poor handling of the little points, whether it's a 2-point conversion or missed field goals or whatever. If you're going to want to stay clean in the special teams area for the Eagles, Jake Elliott needs to come in clutch today.
Kellen Moore, the offensive coordinator for the Philadelphia Eagles. He's going to stay in New Orleans, quite literally. Regardless if the game is won or lost, he is going to take that Saints job immediately after the game. I know it's a tricky spot. I've said it before, I don't love these coaches having one foot out the door to their next endeavor when they're going into a big game. But this is the Super Bowl. You got to assume everything's dialed in. But Kellen Moore, do not get too cute. You got to call a balanced and within your identity game today on offense for the Eagles. Don't get out of it. If you want to use a trick play here and there, maybe, but don't get too cute. If we walk out of this game saying that offense got too cute, that offense got away from what works for them, you're in some trouble. Do what works. See what they do. If they're stonewalling you guys, then adjust. But at the very least, you owe it to that offense, that offensive line, and to Saquon Barkley to at least try within your game plan to start out this game. Kellen Moore is going to need to call an outstanding game in order for the Eagles to win. He's going to need to call a very balanced game. It's not going to be one side or the other. It's not going to be just running. It's not going to be just passing. It's got to be both. Kellen Moore is going to be a big factor in today's game because he's taking that Saints job. It sounds like, barring any unforeseen circumstances, he is going to be circled in, locked down. Quite literally, he's going to stay in New Orleans. So we'll see what Kellen Moore does today. Those are our game-changing players of the big one, of the Super Bowl coming up. Looking forward to that. But good job, Cade. Colin Russo with you on Sunday Huddle, presented by Hard Rock Bet. That was presented by Hexis MD, HEXISMD.com, your partner in weight management methods. On the flip side of things, we got to get into what happened a little bit with the MVP voting, and we'll touch a little bit on what's going on with the Hall of Fame voting, and then we'll get into our Blitz the Book, where we'll give our parlays, our prop bets, and we're actually going to draft our picks because Cade and I usually like to think on the same wavelength with some of our picks. So a little later on in the program, we're going to draft picks of the big game. And once it's drafted, you can't take it. You can't touch it. Should be a whole lot of fun. Stick around for it. Sunday Huddle, presented by Hard Rock Bet on ESPN 106.3.
Live from the Anajar and Levine Accident Attorney Studios. Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Call 1-800-747-FREE. This is ESPN 1063.
Calling all sports fans, grab your MVP card and head to Duffy's where you can catch all of the action. Not an MVP? Sign up for free and start earning rewards today. Duffy's is voted the best sports grill year after year with their award-winning burgers and wings. Don't forget about Duffy's famous 2-for-1 drinks all day, every day. And with over 80 TVs in every location, you'll never miss a minute of the game. Visit Duffy'sMVP.com to learn more. Duffy's, our game is always on.
Hi, this is Evan Cohen here with a special message for the ESPN 1063 streaming audience. If you're not listening to our stream right now, just cover your ears for a second. This won't take long. Thanks to a recent software upgrade, ESPN 1063 now streams in stereo. Isn't that amazing? ESPN 1063 in stereo, left channel, delay, echo. Wow. All made possible by modern technology at ESPN 1063. Thank you, scientists. ESPN 1063, streaming now in stereo.
Hi, this is Scott Smith with Smith Ball Baez and Prather, Florida Injury Lawyers. We are a Florida civil trial law firm that specializes in the areas of personal injury and wrongful death. Our offices are located in Palm Beach Gardens, Boca Raton, and Port St. Lucie. Our lawyers have litigated thousands of matters at the Palm Beach, Martin, St. Lucie, and Indian River County courthouses. Our lawyers, paralegals, and other numerous members of our legal team live in Palm Beach County and Treasure Coast cities and towns such as West Palm Beach, Port St. Lucie, Lake Worth, Palm Beach Gardens, Palm City, Jupiter, and others just like you and your families. We are a statewide recognized law firm, but it is your community and your families that we live and associate with on a daily basis. Our most satisfying achievement is when we know that our legal power has helped a fellow member of our Palm Beach County and Treasure Coast community secure a fair and just huge result. If you've been injured, the lawyers at Smith Ball Baez and Prather will help. Call us at 500-HELP. 500-HELP. With Smith Ball Baez and Prather, help is just a local phone call away. Offices Palm Beach Gardens, Boca Raton, and Port St. Lucie.
Business owners, are your employees driving you nuts? Is money tight? Or have you just poured your heart and soul into your business and now it's time to retire and just relax? At Trans World Business Advisors, they have buyers from all over the world ready to buy your business now. Call for a confidential conversation about your business's current value. 561-203-5121. That's 561-203-5121 or visit tworld.com today.
The all-new 2025 Land Rover Defender 130. Designed for adventure, built for luxury. With seating for up to 8 and power for any terrain, it's ready to take you further. Now with financing as low as 3.9% APR for 48 months. That's just $22.53 a month per $1,000 financed. Visit Land Rover Palm Beach today or go to LandRoverPalmBeach.com to start your adventure in the 2025 Defender 130.
Kaiser University's flagship campus, the 100-acre residential campus at 2600 North Military Trail in West Palm Beach, extends Kaiser University's educational offerings to over 100 degrees in the heart of South Florida. Kaiser University also has an athletic program with 20 national championships, including the 2024 Women's Swimming and Diving Championship and 2023 football, lacrosse, and men's swimming and diving titles. Visit KUSeahawks.com for the latest.
Philly 88, Dice Right 52, Orlando Right HD.
This is Sunday Huddle with Colin Russo, presented by Hard Rock Bet.
Super Bowl 59, 6:30 p.m. Eastern Time on Fox, between the Chiefs and the Eagles. Colin Russo, Cade Tjomsland with you on Sunday Huddle, presented by Hard Rock Bet on ESPN 1063. A beautiful Sunday afternoon, the 9th of February 2025, 80-something degrees here for February. Sounds pretty good to me. Cade, can you see Travis Kelce retiring if they win today?
No, I think he made it very clear in that pre-press conference earlier in the week. I believe it was Tuesday night that he said he doesn't want to leave. I'm gonna take him for his word.
True. All right. Ian Rappaport did say later in the week, he was stated of NFL Network, said that his certainty, the future is sort of uncertain depending on how the game goes. Now, to play devil's advocate, not to read too far in between the lines, I could see Kelsey not announcing something like that because you don't want it to get in the way of the game. You don't want it to get in the way, be a distraction, similarly to Andy Reid. I think Andy Reid's coming back. But if you're going to say I'm going to retire, then there's an added pressure. There's an added element. Maybe he just wants to, let's get the win, then I'll make a decision from there. Don't go out like Jason Kelsey. Instead, go out like Travis Kelsey and get a win after it, which is why I'm trying to play both sides here.
I hear what you're saying. I actually think it's more likely that Andy retires after what he said than Travis. Because, unless Travis knew the question was coming and had his answer pre-prepared, that had nothing to do with his actual decision, which I could see.
If you're Travis Kelsey's position, if you specifically, Cade Tjomsland, or the superstar tight end for the Kansas City Chiefs looking for your third straight Super Bowl, and somebody on Tuesday asks you what the future of your NFL career looks like, you're not going to give that guy the satisfaction of getting that story on Tuesday.
Yeah.
And you're going to want to drop it on your own regard, on your own accord on the Sunday of the game or after.
True that. Now, should we talk about just whether he should or should not? Because you can read between the lines forever.
Yeah, true. If he should, I think it'd be a good time to do it. I mean, what better point than going out on top?
My also side of this thing is you're going to want to play with Travis or with Patrick Mahomes as long as possible.
How many? Hold on, true. But how many Super Bowls do you need before you're like, all right?
It's not how many Super. At this point, he's not playing for a legacy. He's playing for fun. He's playing because winning is fun with Patrick Mahomes. That's what you're doing. Now it's how many Super Bowls can you get, not how many Super Bowls do you need.
That would be his fourth. He is determined. Super Bowl, and he would tie Gronk with that. So there's something to that. Whether he wants 5, I don't think he views it like that because tight ends and how great they are, it's not necessarily comparable by the accolades. But Gronk's got 4.
I don't think he's necessarily going against Gronk in that standpoint. You're going against Jerry Rice. You're going against the greatest postseason receiver of all time. He's second right now. No, he's not really going to get anywhere close. Jerry Rice is on another level, but that's the guy your legacy is up against right now. Gronk had a career full of injuries, and he was physically so demanding as a tight end. They're almost like they play the same position, but I almost think of them as separate ball handlers of players, right? Gronk was that guy who was going to bully you out of the way.
He was an animal.
And he was going to block like heck. Travis Kelsey, as you mentioned earlier, is that sneaky type of find the open field. He's got the brains to do it all.
A savvy receiver.
Yes. So they almost play it 2 different ways, and I don't have any problem considering them as the 2 greatest tight ends of all time.
Travis Kelsey officially 206 yards away from Jerry Rice's record.
Oh, never mind. There you go. Go break that.
I
thought it was more than that.
Yeah, 200. He's got Jerry Rice has 2,245 receiving yards in the postseason, and Travis Kelsey is sitting at 2,039. So well above number 3, Julian Edelman, who's at 1,400. So, yeah, maybe he wants to give it another go. Or maybe he has an excellent – if he has 200 yards tonight, hang him up.
There you go. That's true.
Goodbye.
That's true.
Leave the cleats on the field. But I think, yeah, maybe there's something to that. If he's chasing that immortality, if it's that important to him to get that record, then give it one more go-around. You're at least going to get another playoff game under your belt. So we'll see if Travis Kelsey retires. Cade, did you have a problem with Eli Manning not getting the Hall of Fame ballot in his first go-round over the weekend?
No, I did not have a problem with it, but I also would not have had a problem with it if he did make it, because I believe he is a Hall of Fame quarterback. I think there is a special designation if you are a first ballot Hall of Famer. Listen, you cannot get over the fact that he is 157 and 157 in the regular season. It's just something you cannot deny. You cannot call him a regular season winning quarterback. To me, that is not a first-time Hall of Famer.
But what is he?
He's a Hall of Fame quarterback.
But he's a postseason winner.
True that, but he's not a first-ballot Hall of Famer. There's a special designation there.
Completely agree.
And if he missed that, that's fine. He'll get there eventually.
And I think Eli handled it right. He says, listen, I got no hard feelings about not getting that first ballot. I think the committee will put him in and I think they'll put him in soon. I just think that first ballot is an extra designation of superstardom and immortality that I don't know if Eli is there. It's no disrespect to Eli. He's got to have another chance to get in, and he will get in. I don't think that we should think so nearsighted on him not getting a first ballot because, like you said, similarly to, the Jalen Hurtses of the world, not a ton of individual accolades, but if you're a proven winner and you have the highs that can go really against anybody, probably a Hall of Fame player. Eli Manning should absolutely get in, and I could see him getting in the near future quite quickly. But that first ballot, it's an extra designation. You got to be great. You got to be immortal to get the first ballot. That is a different level of elite. And Eli, objectively, is not that. If you're talking about an elite player that is consistently over year after year, Eli Manning was elite 2-3 times for a 8-9 game period. It's enough to get him in. It's not enough to be first ballot. Cade, did you have a problem with Josh Allen getting the MVP over Lamar Jackson despite Lamar getting the first team All-Pro over Josh Allen?
Nope, and I wouldn't have had a problem if Lamar Jackson got it, right? We were looking at two outstanding seasons. It's kind of sad because we needed one of these seasons last year because no one really had the clear winner last year. Lamar Jackson got it. Josh Allen stepped up in so many ways for this Bills team. I don't think his numbers say how impactful he was to this team when so many people were writing them off. They don't have the talent. They don't have the firepower like they used to. This team went 13-4 and got the number 2 seed in the AFC. I don't care how necessarily you played. That, to me, carries so much weight when it comes to the value of your performances. Because we all agree that the most valuable position is quarterback. Let's set that aside. We also know that the quarterback can play better with other great pieces around him.
There's a reason that Lamar played so much better when Derrick Henry came to town.
Jalen Hurts is the same way. The fact that Josh Allen, which, by the way, no one talks about this, the man had 12 rushing touchdowns.
Yeah.
No one talked about that. He almost had as many touchdowns as Lamar Jackson had.
Yep.
And by the way, 4 interceptions to 6 interceptions, not that big of a difference. He kept the ball clean. He was elite in both his legs and his arm. He was putting up points like crazy. He had 2 historic games this year against 2 prime defenses. Josh Allen would have been my pick. But again, I look at the numbers for Lamar Jackson too. If you happen to give it to him, no big deal for me.
Yeah, I look at it. The MVP is so tricky in the NFL because the criteria of who deserves to win and how they win changes year in and year out. It is so situational to who else is playing well, who else is playing great, how are they playing great, who have they played, who are they playing for, who are they playing with. There's too much subjectivity that goes into the actual award, and it's almost impossible to get right. Now, one thing that should go without a shrivel of doubt is that both these players, both Allen and Jackson, put together MVP caliber seasons. Now, voter fatigue is a thing. Voter fatigue happens. Yes, it is also true that Lamar probably was more impressive this year than he was last year in his previous MVP, maybe even the first MVP he got. But you're only as good comparatively relative to the field. Josh Allen played his best football this year by a long shot. And for me, there's 2 ways people look at MVP, and they change it year in and year out. They look at it, all right, well, as the best player on the best team, he should get it. They won the most games. He is the most important player on that team. Therefore, he's the most valuable. And some years, it's, oh, well, this guy's a stats nut. He's got every statistic in the book. He is a perfect throwing the football. He doesn't turn the ball over yards. You get it. You name it, all over the place. Sometimes they go the stats route. Sometimes they go the winning route. Well, sometimes they have to go find a way in the middle. If you're going the way in the middle, if you're looking at that spectrum and the left is the winning games and the right is the stats, Lamar probably more towards the right side and Allen a little bit more towards the left side, but both in the middle. Allen was great statistically, probably not as good as statistically as Lamar, but he won 2 more games. Lamar, probably better statistically, but with a better roster around him, played probably better teams, but a worse record. That's as even as it possibly can get. No wonder it was the closest MVP race since 2016 between Matt Ryan and Tom Brady. No wonder. Because it's deserving of so. And if there's a way to do it, if there's these two outstanding seasons, if there is a way to appropriately accommodate each one, appropriately recognize each one, let's give one the first team All-Pro and give the other MVP. First time that's happened since Adrian Peterson in 2012. Give one the first team All-Pro, give the other the MVP, and move on with your lives. Neither of these two are playing on Sunday, today. Both those two are well-deserving of that trophy in their cupboard. I'm not calling it. It's not a pity vote because it is so even. To me, he played. If I had to make a pick, I thought Lamar was going to win it, but I probably would have picked Allen because of the reasons that Dan Orlovsky has been spewing all week, is that team around him had more wins with an objectively worse supporting cast. The offensive line was better, but what he had to do in order to compile statistics, the skill positions, the running game, just not as good. So I have no problem with how they handled the MVP. I think it adequately and appropriately recognizes both players. And can you always get it right? No. People are going to be complaining either way. Lamar got it last year when he probably shouldn't have. Josh Allen got it this year maybe when he shouldn't have. All right, big deal. Come up with a better criteria for the MVP. Can't change every year. It cannot change every year, and it does.
One award that I love seeing who wins has had a precedent set of who wins it, whether or not you think they are the best at that position. And it's Coach of the Year. Coach of the Year goes to the coach who everyone thought that team would not play as well as they did. Let's be honest. Coach of the Year probably should be going to Andy Reid from now until he retires. But this year went to Kevin O'Connell. Last year went to Kevin Stefanski. The year before that went to Matt Dable. Brian Dable, sorry. They took teams that everyone thought would play below average and made them playoff teams.
Good point. There's a standard of subjectivity to it.
That's the Coach of the Year. Can we figure out a way to make that the standard for MVP? I don't know if there is a way, but there's an award that has set a precedent of who we like and who we're going to give it to. Can you make a way for an MVP? I'm not sure.
Because if you're going to give it strictly to stats, and if stats is the whole argument with Lamar and comparatively to Allen, then hand it to Joe Burrow.
Or Saquon at that.
Hand it to Joe Burrow. He had more touchdowns with him. Yeah, he had more interceptions, but he had, in terms of yardage, he had 800 more yards. Why aren't you giving it to Burrow? The stats don't matter there. Oh, he didn't win enough games. Well, the difference between Joe Burrow's won games and Lamar Jackson's won games is the same difference between Allen and Jackson. Can't play both ways. You can't move the goalposts every time your player doesn't win. And he got the first team All-Pro, and one of them deserved one, and the other one deserved the other. Fine. Co-MVP would have worked too. But I cannot see how it is so cut and dry, black and white, that there is a right answer and a wrong answer. I can't see that. There was an argument to either one. And they gave it to Allen this year. Okay. Super Bowl Sundays tonight. Let's see who wins the real trophy. Let's see who wins the big one. Kansas City versus the Eagles tonight in Super Bowl 59 over on Fox. Are you anticipating a good game out of Tom Brady on the call?
That I am, but good has a different definition now for Tom Brady.
Now, Tom Brady, one thing that the NFL did was the right move, is he had all these restrictions because he was a minority owner of the Raiders, and he couldn't be involved in certain practices. He couldn't talk to certain players about strategy. They waived that for this game. Right move, because the Raiders are not involved. But Tom Brady, this is a big stage for him tonight. And he's had an up and down year. But if there's an opportunity, if there's a person that has the experience throughout the game, the highs and lows, he's down early. He knows how to come back into a late game. He knows how to maintain a lead. He knows how to win ugly, knows how to win in a shootout. And he's lost tough ones too. Brady, if he plays his cards right, if he doesn't overtalk, can sprinkle in excellent anecdotes even there to really up that broadcast. Now, I'm a broadcast guy. I know people who are at Super Bowl parties, you don't necessarily listen to the broadcast as much, but I love dissecting how good a broadcast is especially with the two main guys. I don't care about the halftime, the pregame. I don't care about that. But the guys who actually do the game, there's a right way to do it and a wrong way to do it. And there's different ways to do it, yes. But I think Brady has an opportunity, if he plays his cards right, to show that he's taking steps in the right direction because nobody has the experience that you need in this game more than Brady.
Do you think he's going to do this next year?
Yes.
You think he's going to keep going with it?
So much money. That's 30. He's making $38 million, $32 million a year, whatever it is. So much money. Unless, there might be an argument that he doesn't need the money, but Brady needs a challenge. And I think Brady being around football, being involved, getting paid the amount he is, I think the idea of improving in something, the mission, I think that will motivate him.
Likes getting under his skin.
He's not wired. Tom Brady and people like him are not wired like normal people.
No.
Who, when they realize, I don't have a natural talent for this, I don't have a natural passion for this, maybe I should shift to something else. Brady's going to be like, I'm going to get good at this. And I am going to try very, very hard.
He's gotten good at it throughout this regular season.
Yeah, and he's had his ups and downs, and he has. And he's had a couple really bad games. That Packer-Viking game in Week 17 being a very notable one as well. So there's ups and downs with him. But I think that wiring that he has, that undying need to improve, I think that's going to come out, and he's also making too much money. It sucks for Greg Olsen, but the second his contract is up with Fox, Greg Olsen is jumping to another network to be their top guy. Whether Collinsworth walks away at a certain point and maybe he takes over the NBC gig or whatever it may be. Romo's not going anywhere. Aikman's not going anywhere, but maybe Collinsworth moves away. Collinsworth's done it for a while.
Would Olsen go to the college level?
It's another good point. Maybe he'd go to the college level. They're not moving Herb Street off of ESPN. Danielson and Nessler are both older for CBS, so that's actually a decent one. I don't know how much longer Danielson's going to do it, but I think Olsen likes the NFL. So I
think he does too.
I think he loves the NFL.
Would they move Herb Street off of Thursday night and keep
another good one?
And keep him with college?
I don't know how consistently Herb Street can do that Amazon game. Maybe they're going to change up that lineup.
And who knows how long?
Michael's not going to do it forever.
I know.
So what are you going to do? You're going to change the play-by-play guy and keep Herb Street in there? You could get Olsen and shift him in there, and Herb Street doesn't need it. It's game day. He does the college. He likes the college more than the NFL. He had a couple bad games throughout the end of the year in terms of just like not knowing things. Herb Street, good voice, good feel, good presence. He's a college guy. He feels like a college guy. He sounds like a college guy. Maybe Olsen goes there. That's actually a good one as well. That or the NBC gig. So we'll see. But I think Brady, you're going to hear from him on Fox. I cannot see if he could do both. The NFL will work around him doing both. He's got no reason to walk away from.
I think he does fine tonight. I think he really embraces the bigger moment.
I'm very curious.
I'm excited.
I'm very curious to see how Brady does tonight in the broadcast. We got to roll on here. We'll blitz the book presented by Hard Rock Bet next. Cade and I are going to draft our prop bets for the game. 5 or 6 apiece? You want to do 6 apiece or 5 apiece?
I have 6. I'll do whatever you want.
Let's do 5 apiece because then you're back up just in case I take one.
I got you.
We'll do 5 apiece, drafting our prop picks up until Super Bowl Sunday, coming up 6:30 tonight. We got you till 2. It's Sunday Huddle, presented by Hard Rock Bet on ESPN 1063.
Live from the Anajar and Levine Accident Attorney Studios. Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Call 1-800-747-FREE. This is ESPN 1063.
Good people. It's your boy Theo Dorsey. The big game is almost here, and it's now or never. Don't miss out on the last football game of the season with Prize Picks, the best place to win cash while watching the big game. Prize Picks is also giving away a free pick for the big game, where one of the starting quarterbacks will only need to throw 1 yard to win. If you're correct on at least one more stat projection, you can win some real cash. Prize Picks is the best place to get real money sports action. With over 10 million members and billions of dollars in awarded winnings, Prize Picks has made daily fantasy sports accessible to all. You just pick more or less on at least 2 players for a shot to win up to 1,000 times your cash. Prize Picks is the best place to win real money this football season. Which players are going off? Which ones aren't? Make your picks in less than 60 seconds and turn your sports opinions into real money all season long on Prize Picks. Download the app today and use code THEOD to get $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. That's code THEOD to get $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. Prize Picks, run your game.
At St. Lucie Battery and Tire, batteries came before tires. We've been selling and servicing all types of batteries for over 50 years. So when you need a battery for nearly anything, We have it, as well as the fast professional installation you need. We carry premium batteries for all your needs: automotive, commercial, marine, RV, and specialty. We also offer delivery and on-site installation, serving our customers quality products for over 50 years in the home of honest, reliable service. Go to slbt.com and book your next appointment.
Hey, it's CCAT. You want to know the secret to dropping 17 pounds in 28 days? It's MetroMD's medical weight loss program in Palm Beach Gardens. The medical team here is amazing. They take the guesswork out of weight loss with cutting-edge meds and personalized plans that work. I lost 17 pounds in less than a month, and I'm losing weight fast enough to stay motivated. The place is busy because the results speak for themselves. Want to experience it for yourself? Visit MetroMD in Palm Beach Gardens for a free consultation, or check out MetroMD.com. That's M-E-T, the word trim, MD.com. Let's do this thing together.
Hey, Steph Prince here, General Manager of ESPN West Palm, to tell you about a team that has meant a lot to me and this community for a long time. Bob and the team at Bradley Heating and Air Conditioning have been helping me stay cool for years, whether at home or in the office. And living in South Florida with 3 kids, I don't know what I'd do without them. Family owned and operated, serving Royal Palm Beach and beyond since 1980. Let the knowledgeable and trained team at Bradley help you with your residential and commercial needs, installation, repair, seasonal maintenance, upgrades of all makes and styles and models of HVAC equipment, and so much more. Bradley Heating and Air Conditioning does things right the first time and makes the process smooth, stress-free, and most importantly, keeps you cool. Give them a call at 561-793-7497. That's 561-793-7497 or bradleyair.com. Any need, big or small, trust the amazing team at Bradley Heating and Air Conditioning.
For 48 straight years, Ford F-Series have been the best-selling trucks in America. We got here by engineering breakthrough technology, redefining Built Ford Tough, and never settling for second best. But what's really made Ford F-Series the #1 selling trucks in America is you. Ford F-Series, Built Ford Tough. Based on 1977 to 2024 calendar year total sales.
Tired of being sidelined by a sports injury? Get back in the game with Baptist Health Orthopedic Care. Whether you're a professional athlete or even a weekend warrior, you can get back to doing what you love with our compassionate orthopedic team. Experience a new level of care and get back to your best. Welcome to being treated like a pro. Make an appointment today at baptisthealth.net/ortho or call 833-556-6764.
Punch right, Zach. 15 tip scissors. Can it to 300 jet F stick. X has got a quick high corner. Be ready to keep attacking.
This is Sunday Huddle with Colin Russo, presented by Hard Rock Bet.
Closing out the program here on a Sunday longer edition, Super Bowl Sunday edition of Sunday Huddle, presented by Hard Rock Bet on ESPN 106.3. Colin Russo with you, Cade Tjomsland alongside me from the City Place Studios in downtown West Palm Beach. A 70, 80 degree semi day over here at the City Place. You can't get much better than this for an American holiday, the Super Bowl Sunday, coming up at 6:30 between the Chiefs and the Eagles. So what we're going to do now, Cade, is we are going to blitz the book, presented by Hard Rock Bet. So when Cade and I blitz the book, presented by Hard Rock Bet, we're going to do it a little differently this time. Cade, we are dead even.
In everything. We're dead even in games.
Our record throughout the season is dead even.
We're dead even in games. You have a 1-up lead on parlays, but we've been playing doubles this whole entire postseason. So essentially, yes.
Wow.
Everything, tight knot right
there.
So
let's establish how we're going to get a winner here. We're going to draft our picks instead of just making our picks.
Let's do it.
There's not going to be any overlap. We're going to draft it. You can draft it however order you want. Cade, you're going to start. We're going to do serpentine style. So you cool with that? You want 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, so on and so forth. Cade, start us off. Your first pick for Super Bowl Sunday. This could be let's establish this. This could be the spread. This could be the over-under. This could be player props. Just don't make it some egregious favorite, and we're good to go.
Nope, no egregious favorites, but I'm having some fun. Hard Rock Bet has so many fun things.
Yeah, the app is ridiculous.
You can bet right now.
You need like 25 minutes just to go through all.
So here we go. Hollywood Brown gets a catch on the first Chiefs drive for plus 170. Hollywood Brown gets a reception during the first drive of the Kansas City Chiefs, plus 170.
All right, you went that direct. I'm taking the Chiefs -1. Okay. I don't want you touching that pick. I wanted that one. Chiefs -1. I'll start that, and I get the second one after that. I'm really high on this. I don't know. I talked to Fat Jack at FatJackSports.com, the pro gambler, and he kind of was trying to talk me off a ledge with this. But I'm riding this out. Noah Gray over on receiving yards. It was 11.5 earlier in the week. It's now 12.5. Talk about a decoy game for Kelce. I'm not saying he's not going to get the ball at all, but if the Kansas City is going to do one thing with the great linebacker core and that great defense, which is going to be centered on Kelce, is they're going to utilize the backup tight end. Gray is a solid player, 12.5 over receiving yards for me.
Yep, nope, I love that one as well. So I got 2 right here as well?
You got 2 as well.
I got 2? Okay, so number 2, I will go with Kareem Hunt.
Okay.
Over 15 rushing yards in the first quarter. That's plus 300. Kareem Hunt over 15 rushing yards in the first quarter.
All right.
Plus 300.
You like this first quarter, all right? Go ahead.
Number 3, I'll go the total sacks under 5.5. Total sacks between the two teams under 5.5. I think the offensive lines do well today.
Very good pick. Total field goals made over 3.5.
I like that one a lot.
I think this is going to be a game where nobody's going to flirt around with missing out on points. Everybody seems to be in on the under. If the under is in play, that means you're going to get a lot of drives that end out in 3. Over 3.5 on the field goal game for me. All right, these quarter ones, I don't even know if I can think this far ahead in terms of the actual quarter player props.
You mentioned looking on the app for about 25 minutes. That's what I did before you showed up today. I was on this thing. There's so much fun stuff.
There is. All right, here's what I like. In terms of rushing yards, the quarterbacks, Hurts is at 36, Mahomes is at 29. You know what I'm thinking? I'm thinking the under for Hurts. 36.5 under. I think that's going to be a big focal point of that Chiefs game plan. I don't think he's going to have a big game rushing. I like this.
Yeah.
Under 36.5. Rushing. I just don't think that's going to be within their game plan today.
No, I like that one too. Let's go with a simple score. The Chiefs get the last score of the ball game. -120. Chiefs score last, -120. And then for my last one, this bet may be plus 2250, but I still want to take it. At plus 2250 with my last pick, A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith. A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith, plus 5 receiving yards each quarter.
Plus 5 receiving yards each quarter for Devontae Smith.
And A.J. Brown combined. They have to both get a 5-yard reception.
They have that on Hard Rock Bet?
Yes, sir. You go to the homepage.
That is
you
a
click on the
ridiculous
game.
bet. Wow.
Click on the game. You go to game lines. Then there's a tab that says NFL game exclusives. Dude, there's literally everything imaginable in that tab. Everything. I'm talking Korean.
Yeah, I'm looking at it. It's too much input. This is too much. This is too much input. But any quarter to end scoreless plus 400.
Everything's scoring.
Give me that one.
Okay. All right. He's making a last-second decision. I love
plus
it.
Plus 400. That's gonna improve my bet substantially. How about that?
So any quarter
0-0 first quarter is the only chance I got. Or the third quarter.
That's true.
So I can see it. Actually, no. I'm rooting against points there. Where's the fun in that? I'm not doing that.
All right.
Where's the fun in that? Oh my God. I see it. Will there? Yeah. No touchdown in the game is plus 15,000. Oh my goodness. All right. Is there not the pick for a 2-point conversion to be attempted?
There
or
is.
Converted?
It's hold on. I found it earlier.
Opening touch. Yeah. I'm looking around on this app. It's too much. There's too much. There's too many bets.
There you go. Have some fun with it. Spend some time on there. There's so much opportunity on this app.
I'm not going to do it. I'll find something else. But because that was the one I was looking at. I couldn't place it for some reason. All right. Passing. Jalen Hurts. I don't think he's going to rush the ball that much, but I do think he's going to pass the ball adequately. 216.5. I think I'm taking the over on that one. That will be my final pick of my parlay. I got Chiefs -1. Noah Gray, 12.5 over receiving yards. Over 3.5 field goals made between both teams. Under 36.5 rushing yards for Jalen Hurts, but over 216.5 passing yards for Hurts as well.
I've got Hollywood Brown catching a reception in the first Chiefs drive.
We didn't even need to. I wasn't going to take any of these picks, so we didn't even need to draft it, but go ahead.
I've got Kareem Hunt scoring 15 rushing yards in the first quarter. I've got the total sacks under 5.5. I got the Chiefs scoring the last points of the ball game, and I've got a combo of A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith with a +5 reception in each quarter. +5 receiving yards, whether it's...
In a reception, though.
No. +5 receiving yards. I just assume it's not going to be like a 2 and a 3. I just assume that's a catch for either of them. Right. So basically, I'm just hoping that each of them catch the ball in each quarter. That's +2250 on its own.
You know what the one I was looking at earlier this week, and Fat Jack talked me down a ledge on it, was DeAndre Hopkins. It was 9.5 on Hard Rock Bet earlier this week. It's now 12.5 receiving yards.
That's a catch for him.
He ran 11 routes in the AFC title game. But if there is a game where the Chiefs, I mentioned earlier in the show how the Eagles can't necessarily get out of their identity. Well, if there is a team that does, it's sort of the Chiefs. The Chiefs get very savvy in how they attack these teams.
No, for sure.
They could do that again, whether that's Noah Gray and DeAndre Hopkins. For some reason, I'm in on the backups because of this great defense. You got to assume that they're going to do a good job on their focal points. It's the non-focal points that the Chiefs are going to kill them.
I thought that was going to happen last week, and it didn't. That's why I'm kind of steering away from it this week. But I've been waiting for that moment for DeAndre Hopkins. I've been waiting for these extra players to really make their names.
And the Bills' defense is not as good as the Eagles. So that Eagle defense is going to, at the very least, they're going to do a halfway decent job against this offense. And if they have their focal points of Kelsey, don't let Xavier Worthy get deep. Don't let Hollywood Brown get going and contain Mahomes. There's only so many guys in the field that the Noah Grays of the world, the DeAndre Hopkins of the world, who are mostly an afterthought in that defensive scouting report game plan. The Chiefs are going to utilize that. They sort of beat you where you don't think they're going to beat them.
If you want to be cheering for points, you can take the exact opposite of that bet you had earlier. At +600, they've got each team to score in all 4 quarters. So no shutouts the entire game.
That's plus what?
+600.
Wow. So it's +400 for a scoreless quarter, but it's +600 for something in every quarter.
Non-shutout quarters.
That's just one team has to do it.
Yeah, if one team gets 0 points in a quarter, this bet's over.
Oh, so each team has to do it one time.
Each team has to score.
I don't like that.
The other one that I thought of that I had written down, each team to score a plus 1 or more rushing touchdowns and 1 or more passing touchdowns. Each team to score 1. So a rushing touchdown and a passing touchdown from each team in this ballgame it's only +200. So again, they understand that there's probably going to be points up there.
Will we see a 2-point conversion in this game?
No. I actually think this comes in pretty cleanly. 38-35 was the last time these two teams played. I actually have a final score of 24-20 points, but not crazy.
24-20. I believe that was the Rams-Bengals final score or something like that. It might have been. But all right, so that's a safe game. That's a clean game.
Points, but not crazy.
And that's the under, I believe, too. It's 47.5.
Yes, it is. Now, I'm not ballsy enough to take the under in this game, but that's the final score I'm kind of seeing.
All right, I was leaning both sides here, but 27-21 Kansas City. Makes it 48. I believe it's 48.5 is the over-under, so that is just on the under as well.
48.5, you are correct. Now, there's another thing you can do on Hard Rock Bet is that you can actually pick the spread yourself.
Yes. Yeah.
So if you want to go for a little bit more outside of just the -110, you can go Chiefs -4. You can go Chiefs.
It's my score prediction. It's not my claim to God.
I'm not talking to you anymore, Colin.
Oh, okay. This is to the audience, right? So for me, final thoughts here, but in the last couple minutes before we close out the program, how I think this game is going to go is I think it will be relatively back and forth, and I think you're going to see a couple lead changes throughout the game, but any close game, any close matchup, especially in the second half, unfortunately favors the Chiefs. Any opportunity for Mahomes to close out a game, to take a lead, to make something happen in the fourth quarter, if I had to make a pick on either side on who I trust more in a fourth quarter game to go get some points, go win the game, everybody's on the same page is without a doubt the Chiefs. For the Eagles to win, they need to win, and they need to win relatively big. They need to have a 7+ point lead running out the clock in that second half, utilizing field position, trying to get field goals here, trying to keep it 2 possessions, keeping them at bay. That is the route, in my opinion, for the Eagles to steal this game. If it's close, if it's relatively back and forth, I think that favors the Chiefs. That's how I think this game's going to
We're going to learn a lot in the third quarter of this game because I'm not going to panic too much if the Eagles get out to an early lead in the first quarter, second quarter, something like that. But if they can maintain the momentum in the third quarter and you're up by multiple scores going into that fourth quarter and you can really pound the run game even more to run out that clock, because if there's one thing the Eagles know how to do, it's run the clock. What was that drive against the Pittsburgh Steelers earlier this year? 10+ minutes to run out the game? When the Steelers thought they'd have another chance at the ball.
Yep.
The Eagles know how to close out games that they're up big. So that third quarter is going to be key, whether the Chiefs make a comeback or the Eagles can keep them kind of at bay. I'm interested to see how people come out of the locker room.
And for me, third quarter is an important aspect. If it's close, I'm not picking against Mahomes. I've been picking against Mahomes for quite a bit now. I thought the Bills would do it. I thought Josh Allen would finally do. I was wrong. I'm done being wrong, and watch the Eagles win today because I'm done being wrong, and I'm going to go
To be
Eagles.
fair, the last time I said don't pick against them in a Super Bowl like this was Brady and the Eagles. Brady had that moment there at the end and fumbled the ball.
That team encapsulated magic, and that team played keep away. That team scored, and they were playing keep away, and you couldn't stop them.
You're going to need to see a similar game like that.
Maybe that was a great Super Bowl. That's what you need. That team pulled out the tricks. It was a different coach, different quarterback, different a lot of things. But when you're playing an all-time great, chasing immortality, who's won in every facet, getting ahead and staying ahead, don't let the offense beat you, but beat their defense.
Potential mojo vibes. If you think about that game in hindsight, that prevented the first three-peat. Because it was
They won the following year, yes.
They won the year before against the Falcons.
And the
then
following
won the
year
after against the
Rams.
Rams.
Yeah. Prevented a three-peat, I think, is a little strong. The second of which.
It's just interesting to think about
They're
that in
trying to come
hindsight.
up with a little mojo here. All right. Eagles, can they do it again? Chiefs, can they complete the impossible in NFL history? Something that hasn't really been seen since the likes of the Packers since 65 through 67, but during the merger. But we close out the program here. Big thanks for Cade Tjomsland keeping us on the air, keeping us as the producer of this very program at the Stadium Play Studios in downtown West Palm Beach. Sunday Huddle presented by Hard Rock Bet. Super Bowl Sunday coming up 6:30 on Fox between the Chiefs and the Eagles. Can the Eagles shock the world? Can the Chiefs establish themselves as maybe the most dominant dynasty in football history? Remains to be seen. We'll be back at it with local programming throughout the week. Don't miss it. Sunday Huddle, ESPN 106.3.
The preceding program was paid for in full by Hard Rock Bet. Advice and opinions expressed during this program were solely those of the guests or hosts of this program and not of ESPN 106.3 or Good Karma Brands.
It all comes down to this. 2 teams, 1 trophy, and 60 minutes